Okay guys, I have one last thing I want to show you, and it's basically how to make an ad for the web. The only difference between a web ad and a print ad is the size of the ad and then the measurements. The ads that we do for the magazine, everything is done in inches, but with the web ads, everything's going to be in pixels, which is a different unit of measurement. So what I'm going to show you is how to set up a document that is 250 by 250 pixels. That's the size that we use for the ads on the web. And once you get that set up, it's really very easy. You create the ad just like I showed you in the other lessons about how to make an ad. And when you're done, what you have to do is save this, but then convert it also into a JPEG, because when I upload it to the website, I have to be sure that it's a graphic. It's not an InDesign file or a PDF or anything else. It has to be a JPEG. So I'll show you how to do that at the end. So how do you start? Well, again, when you start InDesign, it doesn't know what you want to do, and you hit, the button. Yours is a little different looking than mine, but hit the button that says, I want to create a new document. And again, always it starts out with a letter document. So whatever it shows you at the beginning, and again, this may look a little different than mine, but you hit, letter, I want to make a letter document, you hit create, and it'll put a piece of paper on the page and just start with that. Now, what we have to do is, again, everything right now with documents is going to be measured in picas, which is 1/6 of an inch. And what we want to do is convert that measurement scale into pixels instead. And the way you do that is you go up to Edit at the top left corner here, go down to the bottom where it says Preferences, and pull it up to where it says Units and Increments, and you'll get a menu and see at the top here, ruler units, horizontal, vertical, picas. We change that into pixels. Okay, so you make those selections, you hit OK, and if you look, see the ruler at the top, how it's in like hundreds? That's because it's measuring now in pixels, which again is a very, very small unit of measure. Now, the piece of paper we have to work with is way too big. We have to convert this into the 250 by 250 size that we're working on. And the way you do that is you go up to File at the top left corner, you pull it down to Document Setup, about halfway down, and it tells you, I'm working on a letter size thing, and here's how big it is. Well, we're going to change these measurements, so it's 250 by 250. And there you go. Now, I've had kids at this point design their ad, and when they design the ad, they do it right in here, in the very center of this, of this ad. And basically there's a margin on the page, okay? It has this pink line and this purple line. They're just margins. The ad itself, guys, actually should be from the top corner all the way down to the bottom corner. Okay, don't look at the margin and be like, oh, I gotta stay inside of here, because it's gonna throw everything off. The ad needs to be the entire piece of paper you have in front of you. And if you want, if the margins like throw you off and you don't like it, you can take the margins off the page. If you go up to the top of the page where it says layout, see it says margins and columns. And if you look, it says, I've got margins that are this big. See this chain that's here? What this does is if you change one of the settings, like I make it 0, look at how all 4 of them change, because these are all chained together. And it looks the same on my screen as it does on yours. That chain is always there. And watch what happens. If I do that, I now have no margins at all. Okay, so you work on the ad, you put in your graphics. Again, just like I showed you in the previous lessons about how to design an ad. Now, when you're done, you've got to save this in the folder where the ads are. So what I'll do is go to File and Save. And if you look down here on the left, let's just go through the steps. Where we save our ads is in this G drive. You go to Classes, down to News Media Production, go to Advertising, This Year, and see at the bottom there's a folder for web ads. And so what I do is, let's say this is for Buffalo Wild Wings. Oops. Come on, brother. Okay. Buffalo Wild Wings web ad, boom, and it's in there. Now, if you ever have to go back and change it, you can go ahead and change it. If all you do is save the JPEG in there, you can't change the JPEG. You've got to have the original in place, okay? So now we have an InDesign file, but remember, I need you to convert it into a JPEG, and that also is very simple. What you do is you go up in the top, so you finish the ad, it's all saved, it's ready to go up to File, and halfway down there's a command that says Export. And so if you look, we're still in the web ads folder here. Make sure, for the love of God, make sure it's in the same folder. If you tell me the web ad's done and it's saved in some other place, I won't be able to find it. Note at the bottom, see it says save as type, and it gives you a bunch of different options for saving this, for exporting it as some other file type. What you do is you pull it down to JPEG. I put Buffalo Wild Wings Web, that's fine. It won't delete the other one because the other one is an InDesign file. It's not a JPEG. And if you hit save, it'll ask you some options. The only thing you got to be sure of is it says color, and make sure it says RGB. That is for the web. There's another one that says CMYK. That is for print. But if you save it as an RGB, it'll look really sharp and nice on the web. Everything else that's the default is absolutely fine. Hit export, and it will do it for you. It's done. And if you want to see it, let me show you in the folder. I'll click on these folders. Again, go to Courses, Classes, scroll down to News Media Production, Advertising, This Year, Web Ads, and notice there's an InDesign file. That's the one you can reopen and fix if you need to. But then there's also a JPEG right here. That's the thing, and if I double click it, you'll see a big white box in the middle, okay? But that's what it has saved. It is a version of the ad that you did in InDesign, but you exported as a JPEG. Okay, what I do then is I upload it into the website and I make sure that it rotates on the website so people can see it. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, just let me know, but there's the basics of how to do a web ad. Thank you guys.